What's happening, friends? Welcome back to Dynamo DeFi. My name is Patrick, and on this channel I talk about cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, and economics. Today's video would normally be my Yield Farm Friday video. However, given current market conditions, I didn't feel it was appropriate to talk about some highly speculative farms. I'll do the video either tomorrow or Sunday when things have settled down a bit. Today I thought it was important to talk a bit about what's going on with Bitcoin in the markets, and then also some coins that I'm looking at adding to my positions on, or even picking up for the first time on this dip. All right, so let's get into it. This is a pretty rough one. You know, if you just joined crypto last month or 2 months ago, you may not have seen a dip like this yet, because we ran up from really from all the way from down 40,000 or so without seeing a significant dip. But you can see, we had a huge dip a few months ago that frightened a lot of people, and this is pretty bad. But again, this does happen in crypto, and this is not entirely a reflection on Bitcoin. So a lot of this comes from things that have been happening in the traditional markets, and this is a good reminder that Bitcoin is not divorced from the stock market, especially from tech stocks. So first thing is, people are worried about COVID lockdowns again, worried that travel restrictions are returning, and that's going to kind of pull the rug on the entire global economy. Second thing is, there's a sort of a property crisis happening in China. That's not my area of specialty, but you can go read things about that. There's a property crisis, and that's creating a bit of a liquidity crunch with China's real estate developers, and there's some concern that the multi-decade China bull market, or bubble, some would say, is coming to an end, and that could spill over into the rest of the global economy. And then there's also some bad news within the U.S., so it's sort of a perfect economic storm. Today, 13 hours ago, November jobs report came out, and people were expecting the U.S. to add, I think, 550,000 new jobs, and it was only 200,000. So that is a major miss. And if you haven't been paying attention, or maybe you don't live in the United States, there's also a bit of an inflation issue right now, where inflation is 6 or 7%, the highest it's been in decades. And if you don't know much about economics, normally unemployment and inflation do not go together. It's supposed to be, you have high inflation when the economy is growing, and it's adding a lot of jobs, and then you have low inflation during times when it's bad. And the fact that we have inflation and unemployment together is known as stagflation, and that is sort of it's not the worst case scenario yet, but it's a really bad place to be in. Because basically it means, to stimulate the economy, the government would have to print money, and if they print money, they're going to make the inflation issue even worse. So that kind of spooked the markets a bit, and even the NASDAQ is down. So I think probably what's happening is this is spilling over into Bitcoin, since crypto is, at the end of the day, a new technology. Let's pull the chart out a bit. Yes, you can see it was down today, and then from a couple weeks ago, NASDAQ is down probably almost 10%, which is a lot for traditional equities to drop that fast. So that's a bit about what's going on. As far as what's going to happen in the future, I don't think anyone can predict, let alone me. I will say that everything depends on Bitcoin. There are a lot of great positions, great projects with things going on, but if Bitcoin drops by another $10,000, then everything else is going to drop too, and that's just how crypto works. The other thing I'll say is that Bitcoin has never existed in a bear market for equities. Bitcoin was founded shortly after the 2007-2008 crisis, and it's basically been up only for stocks more or less since then, with some bumps in the road. So we actually don't know how Bitcoin will act in an equities bear market. There's just no way to know for sure, since we've never seen it. And so we are in a bit of uncharted territory. That being said, I'm obviously extremely bullish on crypto. I'm still holding the vast majority of my positions. Even if we did turn bearish, I'm going to keep farming. I'm going to keep making videos, trying to give people the the best research that I can. And the other thing I'll say is that people who stuck around after the May crash, we're all up 2 to 10x on almost every position right now. I mean, just to name a few, AVAX, Luna are both up over 10x from where they bottomed out in the summer. Phantom, I think, was close to, or was 10x up. Almost any major coin you could look at is up several multiples from the summer. And so if you stick around after these crashes, then that's when the real gains come. The other thing I'll say is that this is why it's important to take profits. I had a video earlier this week about how you can still earn 10, 20 to even 30% on your stable coins. Then you can invest the interest and keep the principal. So good reminder that it's good to take profits, even though it sometimes hurts a little. All right, that being said, like I said, I'm not exiting the markets, and I am looking to add to a few positions. So let's talk about what's looking good. So this is top 100. We'll just look at top 100 coins for this. First thing I'll say is that most people, what they do, they say, okay, well, what's dipped the most, right? And by the way, and I'm not saying these are bad projects, but people say, what's dipped the most? I'm actually going to do the opposite. Look at what's doing the best. And reason for that is that this is showing you what the market wants right now, right? So I'm looking for coins that did well on a day when the market was bad. A few weeks ago when we had that other dip, AVAX was one of the few coins that was up. It was around $90 at the time. And then what happened? When the market recovered, AVAX jumped by over 50% because it was already bullish, even during a bad day. So what I'm looking to do is to look at these coins that did well even when the market was bad, especially if they're coming out of a long consolidation period. All right. So let's look at these. And first one that jumps out is Cosmos. Cosmos, we talk about a lot on this channel, one of our favorite coins. It's a consensus or a sort of protocol that allows you to build other chains on top of it. One of the largest projects on Cosmos is Osmosis, which is also up. So it's sort of, maybe that's a narrative that's forming, right? Could it be Cosmos season? Several other coins in the Cosmos ecosystem, like Juno, which is far out of the top 100, was up a lot today. So that's definitely something I'm looking at. Cosmos and Osmo together, because I have them paired in liquidity, are already probably my second largest position. So I'm not looking to add to these, but that's definitely one that I would be considering if I didn't have them already. The other thing that's nice is that Cosmos was already pretty far down from its all-time high. It was down maybe 40% already, and then this rally was just starting to get back to its all-time high, which is over $40. So to me, that is a good opportunity. Same thing with Osmosis. Next up, we have Near. Near, I'm actually not as familiar with, but it is a layer 1. It's a layer 1, and I know that they have a fast-growing ecosystem. So all of these you should obviously do your own research on, but Near's another one I would be and am looking at. Theta Fuel. I'm not going to talk about that so much because it's extremely volatile, so it doesn't have as much of a correlation with the market. And Bitcoin Cash ABC, by the way, I skipped over that one. If you're a fan of this project and you think it's something I should look at, let me know. Generally, I avoid anything that has Bitcoin in the name that's not Bitcoin itself. Stablecoins, of course. Stablecoins. Polygon. Polygon is flat. Polygon has a lot of games coming onto it. A ton of games coming onto Polygon. It's also got the narrative that it's a layer 2 for Ethereum, which a lot of people are talking about layer 2s recently. So maybe some narratives forming there. Could be that it's Polygon season or that it's layer 2 season. By the way, so see, I'm trying to think of narratives that this is telling us the market wants too, because that can tell you what other sorts of coins the market might want. Binance USD, obviously flat. Stacks. So this is an interesting one. Stacks is a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol that lets you do DeFi on top of Bitcoin. So I think that's really interesting. Stacks has had a nice run up recently and then dipped, and then it's been pretty much flat. So that tells me at least that Stacks is looking pretty bullish. It's still up 30% on 7 days. Another one is Decred. Decred is it's like a DAO thing. It's a DAO. They build themselves as the most decentralized DAO, and they also have an integration with Lightning Network. So there I see two narratives. I see DAOs, which is a narrative people have been talking about already. And what stage that is in is to be determined, but that's one. The other is maybe you could say that this is with Stacks sort of a Bitcoin layer 2 narrative, or using protocols that are built on top of Bitcoin narrative. We haven't really had a wave for Bitcoin DeFi yet, so that could be a powerful one if that plays out. Waves, I'm not too familiar with waves. Elrond, solid project, another up-and-coming layer 1. They had their Maiar DEX, and that really drove up the price a lot, and then it's been retracing, but not as much as other things, so maybe that's a good sign. This one's tougher to tell with. Wonderland, this is the last one we'll look at, Wonderland. We love on this channel, one of our favorite projects. Wonderland is also a DAO, so that's why I think it's important to include this one, because that tells you that maybe there's a DAO narrative, right? That you have two DAOs in the top 100, Decred and Wonderland, that both had pretty solid strength on a day when everything else was not doing so well. So that's what I'm looking at picking up. I already picked up a couple of these. Hopefully you guys found some of that logic helpful. If there's any other coins that you're picking up, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear about it, and you can see the prices on these are fluctuating even as I'm doing this. I think Osmosis must have just dropped out of the top 100, which is why it isn't here anymore. But let me know if there's any other ones you guys are picking up and what you think about the overall market sentiment. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who makes videos on YouTube and helps you do your own research. But I would love to hear your thoughts as well. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. That's all I got. Till next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.